Hello friends. So in today's lecture we will study about how to prepare current affairs for mains examination. So we read newspaper daily, some article comes, and it becomes very difficult for anybody to maintain notes, and we cannot fully rely on any institute notes even for mains examination. Some of the articles are so important, some of the points that are given in the newspaper are so important. So there are several mechanisms which can be adopted. The one mechanism which you can adopt is uh, you write syllabus on one page. Say for example, you write governance, and in governance, transparency is one of the subtopic. So on top, transparency is written. And now, if something comes which is related to transparency in the newspaper, just write on that piece of paper those important information. Now always remember, there are not more than 100 or 150 broad important topics for mains examination. Mains examination, unlike prelims examination, is not about uh, going too deep or going like focusing on very narrow topics. Here the topics are very broad. So if you have, say for example, if you have prepared the topic of electronic vehicles, so you don't need to just make it bulkier and bulkier. You always remember that there are only 250 words in the 15 marks question, and in that too there are three parts. So you don't have that much of words to write a kind of essay on one topic. So always make notes which are crisp in nature, point format notes, and having a kind of structure which resembles the answer, like intro, body, conclusion. If you will write like that, then what will happen while you are reading, your subconsciousness is adapting to that methodology, and when you write answer, it helps immensely. The quality of answers that you will write will also enhance, and your mind will also get trained to write in a manner that is in the format of answer rather than a typical notes on some topic. So having this approach, if you have page approach, you want offline notes, then you can, like for each subtopic, you can write on a piece of A4 size paper. And whatever happens, first those static information will be there, like what is transparency of regulation act, how citizen charter is impacting the transparency, or so many things are there. So what are the hurdles? These things will be static information. Now some example, something will come, or some information related to transparency will come. So you will write on that piece of paper. If you are not comfortable with offline, but you use many of the tools which are available, it may be the Google Notes Plus. I am very comfortable with Evernote. I use Evernote. So what I do is I make verticals here, like for social issue I will make a vertical, and whatever I will read in the newspaper, I am comfortable with the digital newspaper edition. So if the complete article is important, so what I will do is I will underline the important parts, and I will write the topic name, where it should be placed, and what is the relevance, and I will straight away take that piece of underlined article and paste it in the Evernote straightforward. But if I have to take something out of that, then what I will do is I will take that line, that part, that data, and put it inside the vertical where it should be placed. So it also gives you a sense of having uh, an understanding of the syllabus of examination, which is very important. Without syllabus, you cannot prepare for the mains examination effectively. Let me give you an example how I used to like maintain notes. Like empowering local bodies is key to create inclusive health infrastructure in the country. Now, what I did from newspaper itself, intro in 1992, as part of the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments, the local bodies in the rural Panchayati Raj institution and urban corporations and councils areas were transferred the responsibility to deliver primary care and public health services. Here you can avoid this Panchayati Raj and corporation and councils. It can be made shorter. Now why it is important? Then I used point format to decrease health burden. Preventive care is important, which can be enhanced through empowered local bodies. Prelims question has been asked on this preventive and curative care. So this article came, and from that, the things were going on in the news, on and on in the newspaper. To cater to the needs of people, involvement of people close to them enhance persuasive power. If someone, see, this is an ethical point. If someone from inside the society, when you say, for example, if you're a district magistrate and you have to persuade people to take COVID vaccine, so if you will go, you may not be the respected person of that society, but if you will involve some teacher, some panchayat members or head, or someone who is respected by everyone, and involve him or her to persuade people to take vaccine, it will have a larger effect. And this is what will happen if you will provide local bodies the right to create inclusive health infrastructure. They will persuade people, the involvement will be more, and so forth. Like India is lagging behind many of the developing nations in providing sustainable and inclusive health infrastructure, and local bodies can be a game changer. Now, how I am using the keywords for ensuring accountability of local bodies. They need to be given more teeth for enhancing quality of service delivery and to fight against pandemic like COVID-19. So I have made points, and this is how you have to write answers. Challenges, then I wrote about some data I had put, urban local bodies and rural local bodies in India were contributing 1.3% and 1% of the annual total health expenditure in India, which is meager. Okay. Challenge in rural areas is the poor functioning of available primary health care facilities, while in urban areas it is the shortage of primary health care infrastructure and services both. Okay, so I have also given as it is saying empowering local bodies, so you have to keep in mind that my point should focus both on urban local bodies and also the rural local bodies. We are prone to take a narrow approach. Sometimes when there is not mention of India per se, then give a global preview as well in a very short format. So the more you will give the broader perspective, the more marks you will get. So I gave 4 points. Then I give a way forward. Okay, like I have mentioned 15th Finance Commission, then awareness, then role of civil society. These are all the syllabus keywords. If you know, if you have hold on the syllabus now, you can manufacture points. I see for even the answers of polity, I am utilizing the points of ethics, I am utilizing the points of economy, I am utilizing the points of society, and that's how you make a multi-dimensional answer. So even if your one portion is weak, it will impact your marks in the other portion. So if you will have an holistic answer, so it will give you boost. Then I have written the conclusion. The 15th Finance Commission Health Grant has the potential to create a health ecosystem which can serve as much awaited springboard to mainstream health in the work of rural and urban local bodies. The Indian healthcare system cannot afford to and should not miss the opportunity. Okay. So I have written giving reference to something which has a force. In conclusion, gives a kind of impact. Like here I had mentioned about the constitution. So constitutional articles in polity is very much important. See, anemia was very much in news, and the question has been asked by UPSC about anemia. And see, I had taken this article a long back ago, 6-7 months ago, and it had talked about the prevalence of anemia, what are the data. So the data are quite important. I can give the reference of what is the improvement in the prevalence of anemia, or there is a where the situation is worse. If situation is worse in both the areas, then what should be the approach? Because to tackle anemia, the approach in the rural and urban area cannot be the same. It cannot be same. It has to be different. Okay, because social setting is different. And here I had written a kind of summary. Then ASER report 2022 came. So what I did is I made a 2 headings, like a positive findings. If a question comes which says critical analysis. So first I will give some positive points, and the positive points will be substantiated by the positive findings. Like proportion of children 6 to 14 years enrolled in government schools has increased sharply from 2018 to 2022. So enrollment has increased. Okay. Teacher attendance, average teacher attendance increased slightly. So these are I can point. But when I will have to give the critical points, then I will talk about over the past decade, rural India has seen small steady increase in the proportion of children in standard 1 to 8 taking paid private tuitions. Now what this is signifying is commodification of education. So it's a negative point. Learning level, children's basic reading ability has dropped to pre-2012 levels, reversing the slow improvement because of the COVID. So also children's basic arithmetic level have declined over 2018 levels. So these are all the so-called negative points. So like for vaccines also I used to maintain like this. So these are some vertical, like education and health. I had made one vertical and I was writing points like this. So also it helps in, like, if you have made in online format, say for example, and you want to filter out to keep it in the offline format. So whatever is important you can still filter out from here and write in to 1 pages, 2 pages, 3 pages in your notes for quick revision, and it will save your time. And the more you will write things on your own, the more you will be able to reciprocate them in the examination hall. So this is the way you can tackle the current affairs for mains examination. I hope this video will help you. Thank you. Take care. Best wishes.